session. So in last session, Python file handling concept we started. See here. So when we want to be work with Python files related. So first of all, why files concept required? What is the purpose of the files concept? You need to have the knowledge. So generally all programming languages are good at processing the execution, programming execution. But all the programming languages are not good to store the data of the program. Okay, programming related data storing purpose, the programming languages are not good. Just processing the programming and executing purpose, all the programming languages are good. So generally programming language related memory take, creating in the RAM area. Okay, so take place in the RAM area. RAM is a volatile memory. Volatile memory means a temporary memory. Once executing the program which is available in the RAM, after that, memory is deleting from the RAM area. Okay, so that's why to overcoming this problem. In future, if we want to be same program again, we need to be recreated. So this is all making a lot of burden on the developers. To overcoming this, so permanent solution required. Creating one-time program and store permanently in our hard disk, and n number of times whenever we want, wherever we want, there we can use it. So that is using a file handling concept. We can get it. Okay. So you in files, we can create, update, delete, access all the operations. We can do it using the Python programming also. For that, Python is providing one method called open method. So open method of file name we are using, and then mode of the file we are using. So this file name is mandatory for reading the data purpose. For reading the data purpose. So just if we are giving just file name like this, then by default mode of the file is the read mode is there. By default mode of the file is the read mode is there. So this open method is going to open this file with read mode and creating one file object. Creating one file object. So after that, using that file object, we can performing the operations in this required file, whatever we want. Okay. So here read mode means in this file, we can read the data as per the requirement using this file object. We have a read method, read line method, read lines method, three methods there. Okay, without count, with count related. So now this is a file. Here, n number of lines data is there. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, like 4 lines data is there, assumption. So if I'm using read method, all the 4 lines of data from starting to ending like a multi-line string format accessing. Multi-line string format accessing. After that, as per the requirement using the Python string method, so we can write the logic. Okay. So read of count. If I'm giving here 4, then 4 characters only reading. If I'm giving here 4, then 4 characters only reading. Understanding? So string format only returns multi-line string format, or else a required number of characters in the form of string only reading. Read line method behavior is where is our file pointer is available. By default, file pointer is available in the 0 index position. So where is our file pointer is available? From there onwards up to that end of the line, current end of the line only. Current end of the line only accessing, and returns in the form of string only. Here also string format only. Okay. Read line of count means given number of characters, given number of characters reading in the form of string only. So read line in the form of string only reading. The point remember. Next, when coming to the read lines method, list format returns output. List format, list of strings, list of strings where each string is like one line. Simply we are calling like list of lines returns. List of lines, every line is one string format returning. So read lines of count, if we are using count, if we are using, so for example, if I'm using 2 here, if I'm using 2 here, so 4 lines there. So some people thinking like 2 lines reading like that. No, only 1 line only. List format, list of 1 line only returning. Where is our file pointer is there? From there onwards up to end of the line. end of the current line written in the form of list. Understanding? So here each method output format you need to be understanding. Now, so here, because of creating this file object, it's like one entry point. It's like one entry point. This file object. Using this file object with the read method, read line method, we are going inside and we are accessing data as per the requirement. Okay, we are accessing data outside as. Okay, so using the open method, we are creating this file entry, guys. File object we are creating, and using the close method, file object dot close. This is we are going to be closing. After closing, if we are trying to read using the same file object, then value error, IO error we are getting. On the closed file, we cannot do any operation like value error returned. Using the open method, we are opening the file object. Using the close method, we are going to close the file object. The point remember. Next, tell method is there. So where is our file pointer is available? That point we can identify using the tell method. Next, seek method is there. Using the seek method, we can move our file pointer from one location to another location. Okay. So these all methods we discussed in the last session. So now here, read operation related we did here. Next, writing purpose here, doubly mode we can use something file name comma doubly mode. So here majorly three modes majorly we are using. Doubly mode we are using, exclusive mode we are using, append mode we are using. Okay. So now here doubly mode, if I'm using doubly mode, write operation. So open method is opening this file with write mode. Simply creating one file object with write mode. So if the given file name is not available, what it is doing? If the given file name is not available, it will create it. This write mode create it. This exclude mode also create it if file is not available. This append mode also creating file if not available. Okay. If it is a read mode, if file is not available, then throws error. If it is a read mode, then throws error. Okay. File not exist, file not found error, like throwing here. And in these three situations, if the given file name is not available, then it will create it. Okay, common pointer. Next, if the given file is available with some lines of data, some lines of data is there with the demo.txt. So if we are using the write mode, so this file is deleting and recreating. It means like empty file is there. Later using write method, we are going to write some data into this file. Okay, fresh data, new data will be available in the file object when we are using the write method. Okay, so already file with having data, already file is available with some data. In that situation, W, if we are using existing data, we are going to losing, means a newly creating file. Okay, so if you want to be maintain existing data and then new data I want to be add to end of the existing data, means then you can go with append method. So append method doing what means if file already available with some data, later at the end position new data is going to be adding. Okay, updating related. Next, if a file having with some lines of data, then I don't want to be disturb that file. If file not having, I want to be create a file and later I want to be create the data. If file having, I don't want to do any updating operation or deleting operation like that, then in that situation, exclude mode we are using. If file is already existing, then file exist error throwing by this one. Come on, let me know in the chat box. All of you clear about these modes? WX append.
Sir, can you tell about X once again, sir?
Exclusive mode, we are calling like exclusive mode. If the given file name not available, it will create the file name and later we can create the data into that file using write method. If the given file name is already available with some data, then this exclude mode return exception file existing error already with this name file existing like error throwing. It means so we are unable to creating with this same name new file. If it is a write mode, this file deleting and recreating means existing data we are losing. And this append mode means so if file is already available, new data at the end position adding into this file. File not available, creating. If available to the existing data end position, new data is going to be adding. So in these all situations, we are creating a file object. Like this file object we are creating. After that, file object dot, if it is a read mode related, if it is a read mode related, then here read related methods we can use read or read lines like that. If it is a write mode related, then write method we can use. And now here string format, something content, whatever we want, we can add it. Whatever we want, we can add it. Okay. So after creating the data, we are unable to see the data. So we need to be close this file object when we want to be work with write operations related. Okay. So for these all things, after writing the data into the file, using the file object, we are writing this data into this given file. And after that, this file object, we need to be close. Then when we are opening this given file, okay, their data also available. That also we are able to see whatever we are writing here, that is we are able to see. Okay. So remember that. Remember that. Write method. So like a string format data we are giving and adding that data. Write lines method also there here. Write lines method also there. List of lines we can use. List of lines we can use. Each line accessing and adding into the file. Means write lines method internally creating for loop each line accessing and adding into the file object. So at a time, multiple lines of data we can add using the write lines method, or else using the write method. So number of lines content in a single line we can write. Wherever we want like a new line, there /n we can use it. /n representing the new line. Okay. So like these all things there. Now here, one famous interview question is there. Very, very, very important, guys. So in Python, we have a with keyword. In Python, we have a with keyword. So about the with keyword asking in interviews most of the times in file handling concept. What is the purpose of the with keyword? For writing purpose, how do you creating a file object? For writing data into the file object, how do you create a file object like asking? So most of the people giving like this in interview, most of the people. Okay. So if you are telling like this, then see here, you're opening the file object and later you are adding the data into the file object and then you need to be close it. So before closing this statement here, if any other lines of data is there, for example, some other lines of data is there. So because of these lines, any one line, because of any one line, if any exception is coming, then our file object is not closing. Without file object is closing, even though we are writing data into the file, we are unable to see data in the file because of the exception. This is a big problem using this kind of file object. Okay, to overcoming this problem, we are going to use with keyboard. We are going to use with keyboard. Okay, first I will show you this problem. I will show you this problem, and later to overcoming that with keyboard how we are using, we will discuss it. All of you clear what I'm telling? Yes. Open the Python ideally. Python ideally software opening. Reduce the size and control O and choose our folder 8 AM. Now here files, file program, select it. So a lot of programs we created in the previous session. I uploaded, guys. Here comments also I given. Go through the comments, you will understand it. So if you are not doing practice, you will get confusing definitely. Okay, go down, go down. Now see here. So file object equal to open of so I want to be create one demo8.txt like I'm using with W mode I'm using as. So if with this name, if no file available with this name, see here in 8 AM in the files, so up to demo6 available, up to the demo6 available. Okay, so yes, Renika, I will continue with the keyword. Don't worry, wait. So up to demo6 available. Now here the demo7, if you want, you can create or 8, whatever you want. So now this file name is not available here. This file name is not available in our folder location. Then write mode we are using. It means, so with this name, one file is going to creating here. One file is going to create with write mode and creating, referencing to this file object. So now here file object dot write method we are using, and here the something data we can write. Something data we can write. Okay, so REST API is used to REST API is used to communicating app to app, communicating, okay, one app to another app. So application to application communication purpose, REST API we are using as. Okay, just like one line I'm using. So one more line if we want here /n like we are using, and then create some more content. This is in one line, and another content after this /n what is there, that is in the another line is going to be creating. Another line is going to be creating. Okay, so okay, just like one line I'm using. Now here starting one print statement I'm going to use general statement start line I'm using, and ending also a normal statement I'm going to use end line. I'm expecting from starting line to ending line outputs. So now here see if I'm executing, so start line end line printing, it means starting to ending all lines are executing. So here file is creating, data is creating. So go there and check it. So demo7 is there. If we are opening here, we are unable to see the file data. Why? Means until the file object, this object is closing, we are unable to see the data. That is I said previously. Okay, so now here to overcoming this problem, here we are using file object dot close method. We are using file object dot close method. After closing end line, we are getting, see here, start line, end line, means all lines coding executing properly. Now go here, open the demo7, check it. So REST API is used to communicating one application to another application. So now here file pointer by default is available in the first position. Okay, so that is a concept now here. Now successfully we are closing. That's why we are able to get the data. So here, what is output? Like you can observe. Now same program again. I'm going to be recreating. So next demo8. Demo8 I'm showing here. Demo8 with the right mode. And now here some other lines data is there. Something 10/0 I'm using. So any number cannot division by 0. If you are doing like that, mathematical problem, 0 division error we are getting. 10/0, then 0 division error we are getting. Any number by 0 is not working. 0 division error we are getting. Okay, so means whenever this line is executing, exception is coming. Exception is coming. So I'm trying to print this one. For example, here 10/2, then 5.0. Here 5.0 assigning to this X, and then we are printing this X value. We are printing this X value. Okay, so here start line printing, file object is opening with the write mode, and then data is creating into the file, and this division operation working and assigning into X, X value printing, and file object is closing, and end line printing. All lines properly working. All lines properly working. So go to our location, demo 8 you can open, you are able to see the data. All of it clear? So this is the general working concept. What is the output you can observe here. Now this same program, again I will write. Now see here, in this, so 0 I'm using, guys. So 0 I'm using. 10 by 0 means a 0 division error we are getting. 0 division error we are getting here. So because of this line, 0 division error we are getting. Okay. So line 1 executing and file object is creating and data is creating. So here file object, division performing, 0 division error coming. It means the program stopping here only. Our programming execution stopping here only abnormally. Remaining lines of code not executing. So whenever closing this file object, then only we are able to see the data. But before closing the file object, here only stopping our program. File object creating successfully, data also creating successfully, but object is not closing. Before that only problem came. So because of this, what is happening? Okay, means we are unable to see the data in the file, even though data is creating. So if you want to can see here. So demo 8, see no data is there. No data is there. Understanding? So this is a problem. This is a problem if we are using a normal file object. If we are creating a normal file object without with keyword. Yes, in a single write function using a slash n, a backslash n, you can separate it. Otherwise, the write lines method you can use, a list of lines format you can use, will create it. Sunil. Okay, now comes to here in our coding. Okay, here the demo 8 is there. Now here demo 8 I'm using. So here problem is there. Okay, so we are unable to see this data. So to overcoming this problem, okay, what is output I'm using? Okay. So here, that's all you need to be understanding, guys, when you are doing practice. Now, to overcoming this problem, so we can use with the keyword related working with the keyword, working with the keyword. This is the concept now. Now you can see here, start line I'm printing. So I'm not going to use this one like this. So with the keyword related, how we are using means, so with the keyword followed by open method, like we are writing with open of so and so file. Okay, new file name I'm using demo 9. Okay, with the write mode as file object column, like we are writing indentation related. So with open of so and so file with write mode as a file object. This open method is opening this file with write mode and putting into this file object reference. Okay, so now with the keyword is giving a guarantee to the developers. With the keyword is giving guarantee to the developers. 100% I will close this file object before terminating the program. Because of like this sudden termination, because of this kind of exceptions, our program is going to be terminating without closing this file object. Before terminating, I will close this file object. That guarantee is providing by with the keyword. So if file object automatically closing means we are able to see this data in the files. We are able to see the data in the files. Are you understand this one? Okay, now here we can write like this indentation. Wherever we are writing like this column operation, indentation we need to be follow. Okay, now here X line is there, and now print X, and now file object closing, and then this is the normal line. Okay, end line is there. Now check it here. Check it here. File object is creating with the write mode and putting into this file object. Open method is opening the file object with the write mode and putting into here. Into this object using write method, I'm adding this data. And after that here, exception coming, terminating our programming. Okay, these the two lines not going to be executing. But before terminating, internally this with the keyword closing this file object automatically. Okay, so even though not executing this line, automatically closing. Actually not required to write this file object closing statement also, but just stick it here. Now see here, start line printing, 0 division error came for this line. End line is not executing, but go your location. So here demo 9 is there. See, we are able to see the data. Even though file object is not closing explicitly, we are able to see the data. Here only exception coming. These statements are not executed, but file object, when we are opening this file, we are able to see this data. It means before terminating here, internally this with the keyword closing this file object. So this is the advantages of with the keyword. And if we are working with the keyword, no need to close this file object explicitly. So normally we are writing. So once completing this execution, automatically closing the file object. So that's why real time, guys, 100% people are going to opening the files with write mode or append mode or exclude mode using the with keyword only. Do the practice with this one. When you are attending the interviews also, if anyone asking about the file handling related question, so when you want to write the logics with the keyword related, you can create it. With the keyword related, you can create it using with the keyword like this. You can write, then interview person will satisfy well. So here the as keyword, already as keyword in module chapter we discussed. In Python modules chapter, as keyword purpose is renaming the module name or else renaming the property name. Module property, every module may having a lot of properties, which means a lot of functions. Those functions we can rename it. Okay, so if you want, you can see here. Previously we discussed import math is a module. This math module as m, like I'm writing, means now onwards m dot factorial, like we can use. Okay, not math dot m dot like that. Alias names creating purpose as a keyword we are using. And one more thing here, import from math, import factorial. Okay, factorial as f. So now onwards this f is acting like a factorial function. F is acting like a factorial. Okay, so properties we can rename or else module names we can rename. In module chapter, as keyword behavior is alias names creating purpose. When coming to the file handling, as keyword behavior is so this file object as with this reference opening. Okay, open method is opening this file with write mode as the file object, means this is like a reference object, file object related reference object. So as a file object format, it is opening, as this name, it is opening the file object. So simply for creating the file object reference, we are using as keyword here. Next, in the exception handling also, we are going to use as keyword. Their exception variables creating purpose we are going to use. I will explain there. Exception variables how to creating means using as the keyword creating. So this is all coding wise we will discuss in the exceptions. So it is just like a variable. If you want some XYZ, you can use it, guys. Here some XYZ you can use it. So simply meaningful name I use it here, file object like that. It is like a variable name, reference, user defined name, identifier name. So come on, let me know in the chat box. Everyone is understanding about the with the keyword? With the keyword behavior.
Yes, sir, this with keyword can be used for exclusive and append also, right?
Yes.
Okay.
For read purpose also we can use, no problem. For reading purpose also. Generally in the real time, Okay, whenever we are opening the file object with any mode, read mode or write mode or append mode or exclude mode. So after after opening the file object, using that file object, we are reading or writing or something operations we are performing. After completing all our task, okay, our requirement related logics after completing, we need to close the file object. That is the coding standard. Every opened file object, we need to be close it. Okay. Otherwise, let's see here. If you are opening this file object with the read mode or write mode, so internally one memory is creating like this. So with open state there, So if it is a read mode related object means using the read methods, we are going inside and we are getting data. If it is a write mode related operation, we are using write mode. If we are using, so using write method, we can write the data. After completing our requirement, we need to be close this file object. Otherwise, in memory allocation, still this object is waiting. Okay, so maybe somebody is coming and reading data, or somebody is coming and writing the data like that. Still, it is waiting in the memory allocation. So wasting performance of the application. That's why in the real time, after working with this file object, we have to close this file object using the close method. So with the keyword, if we are opening the file object for read operation also, then we need to close explicitly. But if we are using with keyword related, automatically closing. If any exception is coming suddenly, before terminating, automatically closing. Okay, so that's why I always go with the keyword related. Yes, with the keyword we are using for file handling related. So now these points enough for the file handling related, for reading, for writing related, and a lot of interview based questions are required to discussing, guys. So one is in a given file, okay, in a given file, number of what's the number of lines there? How many lines are there in my file? Asking for that split lines method we are using. Okay, how many words are there in my file? Asking for that split method we are using. Split method. So these two things related. Previously only we did. I have a file with a number of words. Every word some repeatedly coming. Some words repeatedly coming. So each word how many times repeated? I want to be find out. Each word is how many times repeated. Okay. So word count, guys. Word count simply. How to find the word count? How to find? How to find? How to find the word count from a given file? Simply how to find the word count from a given file. Each word how many times repeated, that is I want to be find out. So for this purpose,